Welcome back, and thank you for joining me. Let's get to these videos.
Nothing is new under the sun, just cheap reinventions of the old world. This was an electric taxi, a fleet of them. This one was pulling in to a quick service station where rather than having to charge the whole car, they would just swap out the battery. And on the road it went. And this was in 1943. Like I said, what we get nowadays is crappy technology we already had, reinvented, to maximize profits for the parasites, of course, still. Good luck finding a decent, affordable electric. Or how about down to simple home building? 3D printed houses are all the rage nowadays. That's quick, affordable housing. But they already had that back in the day too. This was back in 1950. Just a few small examples though. Not only did they have 3D printed houses and electric taxi fleets, but affordable electric rails that ran throughout the streets of most American towns even. Even in my little town, they used to have an electric rail. No profits in affordable transportation though. Question everything, friends. Until next time. It's funny that the history books, up until recent times, depicts the only really means of transportation are those dusty old Model T Fords or horse and buggy. They never showed the many awesome, innovative crafts the old world had that moved them. I believe the main reason behind that, aside from the many examples of our hidden history, but it's the alternate fuel sources so many of these relied on, like the horseless carriage here. It was a horseless driver with a robotic driver, and it was powered by steam. Steam-powered vehicles, compressed air vehicles, electric vehicles were quite prevalent before gas-powered vehicles came along. But seeing all these vehicles, rough concepts or otherwise, shows just an immense amount of innovation the old world had. Even remote-control tanks. And now everything's so commercialized and bland. Would have been a great time to be alive to see some of these in action. Question everything, friends. Until next time. Portable scooters, 50 years before the general public would have anything like that? Yep, they certainly had that tech, and a lot more. How about frying an egg on a cold surface?
Fry an egg on a cold stove? It's no trick at all if you have the right equipment. This is a cold hot plate. Because it's cold, you can make it out of wood, if you like. Just be sure that there's a coil of wire inside and that you connect that coil to a high voltage alternating current source. The rest is easy. As long as we're being different, we'll use motor oil instead of Crisco. The egg fries very quickly, but the stove remains perfectly cold. In fact, if you wish to keep it handy, you can fry your egg on the morning newspaper. With a gadget like this, you can get up in the morning, sit on the stove, read the morning newspaper, and fry the eggs in your lap.
I'd say that's some pretty neat technology, but I know what you think in the comments. And as always, if you're enjoying these videos, please like and subscribe to my channel.
The world around you is a lie. Everything was buried in mud, and there was a global liquefaction event that happened, and everything sank. And it's not just Easter Island, it's all over. Major cities, we see bottoms of buildings completely buried everywhere you look. These so-called mud-flooded buildings. And what happened? Well, there's many theories, but none of that really matters. The only thing that matters is that people realize that this is not a joke, this is not a fantasy, this is real. We are standing on the remains of something that was. And many people will tell you that this never happened. as you can see, there's clearly more to the picture than we have ever been told. And why? What happened here? How did our world become buried?
The vast subground areas of Italy, endless miles of tunnels, catacombs, and much more. And don't think for a moment that these don't go way deeper than what you see here. It's funny, you find these same underground tunnels and catacombs all over the world, especially in places like North America. But there they call them prohibition tunnels built by gangsters and mobsters. And the silly narrative has us believe that these civilizations, hundreds of them in ancient times, constantly bore out and built these massive underground cities that could house thousands, and structures and catacombs, all with that same brickwork, with nothing but hammer and chisel and that good old horse and buggy. I think what these really are just a portion of the buried and uncovered cities from the mini mudflood type resets of our past. I believe these go far deeper. And as I said, this stretches all across Italy. And even mainstream archaeologists admit to just a small portion of it that's been fully discovered. I wonder what else lies underneath. Question everything, friends. Until next time. They don't want us truly connected, truly aware of our powers and capabilities. I definitely am not a subscriber of any organized religion, but I definitely believe in a God, a creator, in the divine. I believe a lot of these lies, or a lot of what you see in the mainstream, is to get us to collectively deny that fact, to turn away from that divine creator, and with it, our true connection to this realm. They want us to think we don't matter, that we're just hurtling on a giant rock in a vast sea of nothingness, and everything happened by just some big coincidence. It all disconnects us from that divine cycle that everything else on this realm thrives in. You disconnect us from that cycle, lied to us about our history, and you have your mass of unquestioning, loyal worker drones that not only never questions the narrative, but goes after anyone that does. They don't want free thinkers working in their factories. That is, of course, my opinion anyways. It is far more than just history. That is nothing more than a set of lies agreed upon. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
I believe a lot of our history has been destroyed or hidden. Let me know what you think.
One of them is going to be exposed to high levels, and the whole reason that we've covered them in tinfoil is because the environment of this classroom is filled with that. Right, so we had to try to isolate the plants inside of there and not let the Wi-Fi get in there.
I don't really know if it'll affect anything because, like, I grow plants in my, like, I have Wi-Fi in my house and I grow plants all the time and they grow fine.
It's gonna die.
You think so?
Yeah. It blew my mind that the Wi-Fi off, like, the plants are growing.
Yeah.
But Wi-Fi on, the plants are growing. So I think that when the Wi-Fi's on, it's affecting the world. Like, affecting the whole entire world.
What are people's arguments against our results going to be?
The Wi-Fi on.
If they killed the rappers who were spitting truth, they wouldn't have a messenger to reach the youth. So they duplicate physically, implant abilities, replicate tattoos and cloning facilities. Indie contracts say worldwide, label contracts say universal. For all of time in all forms, they own all your music, your image, your name, and your person. Weird, right? I know you don't think that is facts. But for 50,000 and a hair sample, you can clone your dog or your dying cat. It's another way for them to win the war by weaponizing important celebrities. Don't kill your foes, just clone their gods. Then you'll control all your enemies.
Sorry about the quality on some of these videos. What do you guys think about the cloning? I believe it's something that we've been doing for a long time.
You're going to want to see this. Stretching off into the horizon, we have one of the largest tabular icebergs currently on our planet. It just keeps going. Something this big is kind of hard to comprehend even when it's right in front of you, but this speaks to how much fresh, frozen water is down in the Southern Ocean. For anyone wanting some perspective, take a look at the birds that are flying next to this thing. It's probably about 200 feet high, and that's just about 15% of what's sticking out of the water. The rest is down below, like an ice wall, drifting through the ocean, currently heading east, toward the South Orkney Islands. Kind of wouldn't believe it if...
Thing about the whole flat earth, round earth thing, like, why people care if people believe in the earth the way the Bible describes it? Why do people get so mad about that?
Does the Bible describe it as flat?
Yeah.
It does?
With the dome, the firmament, everything. Why do people get mad at people if they just describe the earth the way the oldest history book describes it?
Yeah. So does this mean you think it's flat?
Yep.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Google images of satellites. I've never seen a satellite that was real. I'm just saying, I'm not a flat earther, I'm just saying.
Yeah, that is very strange now that you bring that up.
This is what changed me when I looked into emergency landings.
Why are they selling us on round?
That's not the only thing they're selling you on. They're selling you on space.
You don't think they're real? You don't think sun's real?
No. Sun is real. The sun and the moon is real.
Okay.
But outer space is not.
Over the city, looking down on Washington, D.C., you'll see there are two main boulevards culminating in a pyramid. And just at the very top of the pyramid is a street cutting it off. And then within the triangle at the top, where the eye on the dollar bill is the Capitol. And the Capitol building sits there. It's a pyramid. Then it has the Cleopatra's Needle, which is a Washington monument. And the river, the long riverway, the long waterway is called the River Styx, which is where Pharaoh went into heaven on the River Styx. It is all laid out in Masonic symbolism, and the five-pointed star, which is a pentagram, has always been used. Satan worship, satanic worship, the five-pointed pentagram, and if you take the arms off of a pentagram, you have a pentagon. And the United States Pentagon is sitting exactly due north, aiming due north at the North Star Thuban, which is drawing power, according to the ancient Egyptians, for the god of war.
Just take a road map of Washington, D.C. Just take a look at it from the air, and you'll see what appears to be the goat of Mendez. And the goat of Mendez,
which is a symbol in Freemasonry. Right. It's a symbol. It's a demonic symbol within the Freemasonic.
You see the goat and the horns and the whole thing. The whole city is laid out like that. It's all over.
So what we're basically saying here is that there is nothing happening by chance.
I do believe they were humans just like us, an advanced civilization left out of history, but its traces still remain. All the maps from the past show of the Tartarian Empire, with the Great Wall of Tartaria separating China from Tartaria right there. Done a previous video on that. Even the more illustrious maps from back then, the more fancier ones. This was my father's map. The Tartarian Empire. They were just the latest erased from this history that is nothing more than a set of lies agreed upon, and what they say about that history is it's written by the conquerors. But it's hard to erase all traces of such an empire that lasted so long and had such great reach. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
Thank you again for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Leave your suggestions in the comments. Until next time, keep your mind open.